if you're looking for the highest impact, highest return on your hour invested, it's absolutely a fire class or a flex force class. My name is Victor Cassell. I joined Core 4 around late fall of 2024. What brought me in the door to Core 4, admittedly the easy part was proximity to where I live, so a very central Mount Pleasant location. I think the second thing that had me interested was what I heard about efficiency of the workout. I'm a very big sort of gym bro. I like to do a set, talk about it, look in the video to make sure it was awesome. And this is much more about get it done and get out. And with a family, with kids, work schedule, etc., I really needed that efficiency in my life. And instead of sort of sitting around and talking about what a great set I did, I love that you just kind of push on to the next thing and you're out of here in an hour. The daily motivation for my workouts is to be strong for other people, in particular my family, younger kids. I had kids later in life, so the energy level to keep up with that is a big thing. I have a responsibility, I believe, as a former football player to give back to football. Football gave a lot to me, and I've embraced that task by running flag football, coaching tackle football. And I think it's really important that your coach be able to either demonstrate or keep up what you're asking your athletes to do. So, being able to squat, being able to lunge, being able to change direction, being able to explode, I think all that matters more to me, and that's a bit of a driving, or a pretty significant driving force for working out here. Your hour here, the return on that hour is massive. To walk out of here having employed your full central nervous system and muscular system to do the big lifts is, it carries on the rest of your day. It carries on how you sit in your chair, how you sit in your car, how you stand up at the coffee shop. You're more mindful of being tight all the time in a really good way. And I think the thing I love kind of most here is that it's combined something I love, big lifts, with other aspects of what I needed. I think one other big sort of sticking point for me is the consistency. When you see the turnover in gyms, in particular trainers, in particular desk staff, it's nice after a year and a half that I think like 80% of the people that started here are still here. And as much as trainers can sort of swap gyms, at least in my slot in the morning, like there is a consistent lineup of the people I know training, coaching us. And that's nice to just have that familiarity, the rapport, as opposed to just trying to slingshot guys as to what schedule works or what new guy fits in. The consistency and the consistent presence of ownership is really good differentiation. Kind of hard to talk about, but I think Core 4 saved my life. I had joined in the fall of 2024. And I was very much a believer that cardio robbed you of your gains. So bench press, squat, deadlift was kind of my thing. And I also thought that entitled me to eat whatever I wanted. And unfortunately, during a Core 4 workout, I had had some chest pain and checked myself into the Minute Clinic over across the parking lot. And it was the early preliminary stages of having a heart attack that week. And in May 2025, I tapped out of a Core 4 workout and basically began the process of going to the hospital and having quadruple bypass surgery. And the fantastic news to that is, upon all the x-rays and examinations and post-surgery work, I was told that the intensity of the workouts I had been doing stressed my heart in such a way that it developed its own bypasses, which is a bit freakish, but also speaks to the intensity of the workout. And then I guess my sort of adherence to that, some cardio is not bad. And now my vascular awareness, my cardio awareness, and my willingness to partake in cardio has all reached a higher level after this heart attack. And if you go through quadruple bypass surgery, it definitely raises your appreciation of everything. You go through that kind of event, and everything becomes more important. Saying hello to someone at the gym becomes more important. A hug to your kids, to your family, becomes, you appreciate it so much more. High-fiving, fist bumping, gym buddies, it means a lot more after an event like that. And I don't think anyone should have to go through that event to appreciate these little things. But I can tell you that, little things add up to a lot. And the hard part is I don't think some people realize just how meaningful it is to have someone egg you on or cheer you on or push you on like a coach, and that like you're back here doing it really changes your perspective on everything. It could have been really easy for me to tap out after a heart attack, and to come back, kind of the scar on the chest and the sort of shaken ego of having gone through what I went through with the heart attack, to come back. I think certainly more engaged, more focused, probably stuck out, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it, because I would not have been able to get out of that bed. I would not have been able to walk down that hall. I would not have bypassed my own heart had it not been for Core 4. You can complain or put off difficult things, and you can also come here and do difficult things. And truth be told, there are moments in here where I'm doing difficult things and I complain, but the change and the crossover is really when you embrace the happiness of doing difficult things. And really it just comes down to, are you healthy? Do you love someone? Are you loved? Are you part of something bigger than yourself? And I can say that after this incident, the value of little things is far higher than it used to be.